Hello everyone, welcome to a new video of Dr. Cat Can Code. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install Visual Studio 2022. This is the newest version from Microsoft that support better writing C++ programs. And I also show you how to write your very first C++ program in Visual Studio 2022. So the installation of Visual Studio 2022 is quite straightforward, but I will focus on the option that you need to choose so that you can start working on your first C++ project. So first thing first, you need to go to the website called visualstudio.microsoft.com/vs/ and then it will take you to this page. And this is where you can download your Visual Studio 2022 version. And the previous Visual Studio version was 2019. And the current version is 2022. So there's no thing in between. Of course, there's some upgrade for 2019, but there's no other version, like a big version. So this is a big version from Microsoft with the promise for a lot of nice improvements, especially on programming for C++ and C#. So there are three versions here that you can download: the community version, the professional version, and the enterprise version. We will start with the community version. This is suitable for students, for learners, for individual developers, or even for small group of developers. It has all the important features supporting C++ development. You don't have to you don't need to have the fancy group like for big projects, especially for large company like professional or enterprise version. That's not necessary for individual developers, students, or even a small team. So go ahead and download the Community 2022 Microsoft Visual Studio. It will go into the download folder and you just click and install it. Nothing special, and it will take you to a screen that looks similar to this screen. So this is where you have to choose the packages that you're gonna install along with your Visual Studio 2022 so that it can support C++ development. So there are many things here. So Visual Studio, for those of you who don't know, is a very powerful tool. It's a very powerful IDE. It can support multiple languages, for example, Python, multiple development environment, for example, Linux, or video games like Unity or Unreal. But for the purpose of this video and for the purpose of learning C++, the best thing you can do is pick this package called Desktop Development with C++. So this is the starting point for C++ developer, C++ learner, students, or even professional team. You pick this one. So this is the option that the package that you're gonna choose. So in this package, there are multiple sub packages. So I will explain some of these and why you have to choose those for your installation so that you can start working with C++ with your C++ projects without any trouble. Okay, so choose this option, the desktop development with C++ first, and let's have a look at the sub option that we need to choose. So the first one is always been chosen by default, the C++ core desktop features. And the next important information, like a sub package that you have to choose, is the compiler. There are multiple compilers for C++. However, the Microsoft Visual Studio comes with a built-in compiler called MSVC, the Visual C++ compiler. So you need to choose this one. This is the latest version for both x64 and x86 computers. And because I'm running my computer using the Windows 10 operating system, so if I want to write a program and test on my computer, I need to also install the things called Windows 10 SDK. So it comes with the libraries necessary for, the header, the libraries necessary for writing Windows 10 application. So I need these two. These are the two most important things that I have to choose: the compiler and the SDK. Yep. So some of you, if you just started and you write your first CPP program in Visual Studio and it doesn't compile, doesn't run properly, probably the reason is that you missed one of these two, or both of these two. So the compiler and the SDK. Some other nice sub packages that you can install is the just-in-time debugger. This is especially important when you have unhandled exception in your C++ code and there's a bug. And the just-in-time debugger can help to stop the program right before that moment, so you can debug your program without it being crashed completely, right? And the IntelliCode package, it make your life of a programmer easier with the support from the auto-completion, some other new AI-assisted coding features from Microsoft. And the thing here is very important. For those of you who are new to C++ or C development, we have very powerful things in these languages, is that we can fully control how we use memories with pointers. So great power comes with great responsibility. So it's very easy to make the mistake and mess up your C++ program by not managing your memories and pointers very well in your program. So the C++ address sanitizer allow you to check for memory leak and for the misuse of errors in your memory management of your program. So it's called C++ address sanitizer. So these are the nice add-ons to make your C++ programming more efficient and nicer. But the two most important thing is the MSVC compiler and the Windows 10 SDK, or Windows 11 SDK if you are using Windows 11. Okay, just go ahead and install these packages and that's it. And after the installation, you will have the Visual Studio 2022 installed in your computer. So let's start writing your first C++ program in Visual Studio 2022. I will show you how to do that. Okay, before we continue with the video, thanks for watching and thanks for coming to my channel. My name is Han. I have finished my PhD in computer science at the Faculty of IT Monash University in 2019. I also been programming for more than 10 years. Multiple projects professionally in multiple languages. So I'm an experienced developer. I'm glad that I can share some of my knowledge and I hope I will generate useful and entertaining content to help our community. So thanks a lot for coming again, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click like the videos if you think it's useful for you. And when you subscribe to the channel, it makes it easier for you to see my newer videos. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's continue. And I just go ahead and click on Visual Studio 2022. Oh, very nice and different view. And I click here, create a new project. Okay, so I create an empty project and CPP, C++, start from scratch. So this is an empty project without anything in it. So I will show you how to create your very first C++ program right now. Click next. And this is where you choose the location to store your projects. I create a folder called VS project in the C folder code. And I click the three dot here if you want to navigate to another location. So I strongly recommend you to create a folder to contain all your CPP project when you're learning, to make it easier to manage. So let's say the name of your first CPP program is Hello Cat Can Code. hello cat can code. And then there's a solution name here. Solution in Visual Studio is like a combination of multiple projects. So once I have this solution, I can create some other projects under this same solution as well. To keep it simple for now, one solution, one project. Great. Okay, so now I have my Visual Studio 2022 up and running with my project is open here. The project name Hello Cat Can Code, and there's nothing in here yet. So let me start and add my first CPP file to this project. So I click on File and click on Add and click on Add New Item. So with the new item here, File, Add, right-click File, Add, and New Item. So with a new item here, I can choose multiple items that I want to add to my project. However, for the purpose of the very first simple C++ program, we only need the very first CPP file, .cpp here. It's a C++ file, a source code file. And I name my file as main.cpp because for those of you who don't know, the C++ programs always start with the main function. The main function will be run first. And every C++ program needs to have a main function. Need to be stored in a C++ source code file. And that's why I use the name main.cpp for it. Click on Add. There you go. So I have an empty main.cpp file here, and I start writing code. Like I just mentioned, the first thing that we have is the main function, right? The main function will be executed first in every C++ program. The main function return an integer, a number, and I use 0 to indicate that the program has returned successfully, correctly. Indicate program ends correctly. So this is called comment. So comment is a part of text that is not compiled into source code, into your program. It's just here for reminding or for, like for documenting for yourself and for other developers to understand what is this piece of code doing. And this is called inline comment. We start with the two backslashes here, and this part is just for documentation. This is your very first C++ instruction, and this line of code is ended with the semicolon here, and every instruction in C++ is ended with this semicolon to indicate that the line has ended. And we have the very first action here, which is returning for this function. And if normally the number 0 here means the program ends correctly. Okay, so to print something on the screen, I need to use a library called IOStream. So IOStream is a library that contains the important function, for example, printing on the screen. So I will need to include that in my project, and I use the keyword include, and I include IOStream is a library that I want to include into my project. Nothing happened. One of the important thing here I want to note is the IOStream library come with an object called standard, come with a namespace called standard std. So with this namespace, you can access to some important object and function in the libraries. For example, printing on the screen. However, I don't want to type the namespace again and again. Therefore, I can use the syntax here called using namespace std to indicate that I'm using this namespace by default for all the subsequent function call that I may use or objects or access to some objects within this namespace. So I don't need to type std again and again multiple times. So that's the purpose of using namespace here. Okay, so now I can use the cout object here to print, to put the text on the screen. So I'm gonna hello cat can code. This is the text. So the text is kept within the two double quotes here, and that is a string gonna be printed on the screen. Also, there's a object here called NL, mean end line. So that make a new line. So after making a new line, let's go ahead and print another line. Thank you for your support. And hat. Okay, so that is another line of code that I have over here. I'm gonna print two lines on the screen, and these are the two strings that will be printed on the screen. So now I have finished my very first C++ program with one CPP file, .cpp here, main.cpp, and one function and a couple of lines of code. Okay. To run this code, because C++ is a compile language, so I need to compile it first, right? So I go to build and click on build solution. So you can see down here, it's a build successful. So I didn't make any errors in the code. I also installed my libraries correctly, like I mentioned to you at the beginning of the video. So I didn't get any errors here, and the Visual Studio 2022 managed to compile my code successfully without any trouble. Okay, that's great. So after the compilation, I can start running my program by click on debug here. I can start debugging. However, for the purpose of this video, I will not start my program in the debug mode. I will start without debugging, or you can type Control F5. Okay. The program runs successfully here. You can see on the screen the two lines of text that I have printed also. So here, hello cat can code, thank you for your support. These are the outcome or the output of your very first CPP program written in Visual Studio 2022. And I hope that you will be successful in writing your own very first CPP program as well. If you find this video useful, please click like so that the YouTube algorithm will show this video to other people who might need to watch it as well. If you have any questions, feel free to put in the comment section of this video. I will try my best to answer as soon as possible. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can see more useful and entertaining videos timely in the future. Thank you very much again for staying around. Take care and see you in the next video. Goodbye.